Hello, this is a tutorial to use our Spreadsheet tool from Spreadsheet Tools. This spreadsheet tool might be useful for you if you are more inclined to spreadsheets or you want to upload records from a bank statement in bulk. So, first thing is setup. You might have received the link to this spreadsheet from our Instagram or from our mailing list. And what we need to do first is set the spreadsheet up. The way this works is that it copies it into your Google account, so onto your Google Drive. So taking the link here, I'm opening it in an incognito browser, just because that'll give me greater control over what Google account I sign into. If you only have one Google account and you don't need to manage that, you can just open it in a normal browser as well. So let's go ahead and open this. Now it'll tell me to sign in. Right. Once I've signed in, this page will show up. So this is Google Sheets asking us if we want to copy a document into our Google Drive. Would you like to make a copy of this spreadsheet tool? Okay, it's also said the attached app script file will be copied. The app script file is just the code that makes this spreadsheet run, that makes it work. So we're copying the document and the code file into our Google Drive. Now you want to click Make a Copy. You don't need to look at the code unless you're really interested in it, but just click Make a Copy. Great. So the spreadsheet tool will open up like this. The things that I'm going to be referring to over the course of this tutorial will be your tabs at the bottom. So we've got various tabs that have various things in them that I will take you through, and you have buttons, nice big purple buttons. Okay, so first thing is the name of your spreadsheet up here automatically comes up as copy of Spreadsheet Tool spreadsheet tool. So you can change that into whatever you like. And I'm going to just change it into Roshani's Spreadsheet Tools because my name is Roshani. Okay, that was the first thing. Now, the second thing is we want to set up the document. So we have a code file that is somewhere on our Google Drive, and what we need to do is give this spreadsheet permission to access that code file. And now all of these buttons, and as if we go into the income tab, you'll also see there's another button here. All of the buttons run on code. So in order to set it up and just give permissions to use the code, I'm gonna click on this button. And when I click on the button, it tells me that it's running a script. A script means a bit of code. And it says authorization required. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click OK, because I'm going to approve this code. Now, before I move on, it's important to say that both the spreadsheet and the code file are owned by your Google account now, because you've made a copy from the original. You are not accessing the original file. You are accessing copies of the original file that you own yourself. So essentially, we need authorization to use your own file. We're not accessing anywhere externally. So we click OK, and it'll open up a verification. So this is saying the app, so the spreadsheet is requesting access to information in your Google account until the developer is me, just because I have copied this spreadsheet. So it should show your own email here. We click Advanced. And then we want to click Go to Spreadsheet Tools spreadsheet code. Now it's saying unsafe, and this looks very scary just because there might be a situation in which you access a file that is not owned by your own account, and Google wants to protect you from that. But this is owned by your own account. We're going to say go to the spreadsheet code. Now, another step in the authorization is we just want to say, yes, allow access, click continue, and that's all done. So you have authorized the code, and now what we're going to do is import a bank statement. Now, the way this spreadsheet works is you have two tabs. You've got your income tab here, you've got your expenses tab here, and what we need ultimately for HMRC is a record of all your income and expenses in these tables. Now, to make life easy, we can import a bank statement into the spreadsheet, which will automatically populate the income and expenses tabs. So let's say I've downloaded my bank statement. I have created a little example one for us to use for right now. This is what you might see if you download your bank statement in a CSV format. It must be in a CSV format. It cannot be in a PDF format. CSV means it can be read by spreadsheets, which is what we need. If we go back to our import tab, we need to find columns in our bank statement that correspond to these. So we need date, amount, and description. And what we need for these is we need the date of your financial record, we need the amount of the transaction, whether it was income or expenses, and we need some kind of description that helps you log what it was. Okay, and we're going to find this information from the bank statement. Okay, so first, the date, pretty self-explanatory. There's always going to be a date column. Okay, I could just select it like this. What I need to do is put together my date, amount, and description columns that I choose, that I want. We need to put them together. So I found the date column. The amount column is here. Great. It might be called something else in your bank statement, but should be roughly the same kind of theory behind it. And then description. Now, there are various things we can choose for this. So in your bank statement, you might get a description column like this. And this will be various things. This will be the name of the company. This will be whatever reference you had from any payment that you made. But it's a bit of a mess in my bank statement. So I'm going to see if I can find something that gives me more information or more meaningful information. And actually, if I go to this name column, that has given me the names of the places I went to. And actually, that tells me a lot more as to what I spent it on. So I'm going to go with this name column as my description. Okay, so now what I need to do is put it into the order that we had here, right? This date, then amount, then description. So I have the date column, then I need my amount column next to it. So I'm going to click and drag it over here, drag and drop. So I've got date and amount next to it. And then I'm using the name column as my description. So I'm going to drag this next to the amount column. Great. And I've got my 3 columns. This is the information that I need for HMRC. Now, you don't have to upload your entire bank statement. There might be some lines on here that you go, actually, I don't want to record this in HMRC, so I'm going to take it out. Let's say I went to Waitrose for my weekly shop. I'm not going to put that in my HMRC records. Let's just say. I can go through this. I can only select the rows that I want to upload. This is really short because it's just a little example. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to copy this into my spreadsheet. Okay. So I'm going to copy only the information, not these column headers. I don't really need these. Copy the information. So I'm going to Command C or Control C, depending on what device you're on, or you can right click, copy. Okay, then back to my spreadsheet. I'm going to click on the first available cell. So this is where I'm pasting my information. So you can right click paste, but Google Sheets does enjoy just a Command V or a Control V. So paste, and it'll go in here. Now this little icon just means if you click paste values only, it doesn't give you all of the table formatting as well, but honestly, it doesn't matter. So now this is all in here. What do I do? And I'm just going to zoom out to show you what little more what this does. When you don't have to zoom out, but I'm just zooming out for you. Now I've zoomed out just to show you what this does. Once you have whatever information you want to import here, this doesn't have to be all at once. You can do this in stages as well. You click this button, Import Statement. So click Import Statement, and then it'll say Running Script, and then we can see the code working and the spreadsheet separating your bank statement details into income and expenses. So we're just seeing it all disappear one by one from our main spreadsheet, from our main sheet. Okay. Right, now if we want to see where that's gone, let's go click on our income tab. Right, okay, we've got this in here. So what has happened? It's separated everything that was income, which essentially means anything that had a plus sign in front of it, and it's given us which quarter that amount came into our account from. Okay, and I've actually just now, and now if you look at this and go, actually there's something in there that shouldn't be in there, you can get rid of it. So like a normal spreadsheet, we can see, oh, actually this was an amount that I sent to myself from another account, so I'm going to delete it. Let me right click, delete row, because that shouldn't be in there. Fine. I'm going to zoom back in for everyone. Okay, now let's go and check in on our expenses. What has happened here? Okay, so we've got all our expenses in here. Great. It has given us the date, the amount, and the description, and then it's added which quarter that was in, and it's added percentage and category. So your default amount in the percentage is 100%. And your default category is other. Now the percentage column is because you can claim various percentages of your expenses. So for example, if I take my phone bill, I can't really justify claiming 100% of my phone bill from HMRC because I don't use 100% of my time on my phone for work. But I could say that I use 50% of my time for work. So I'm going to claim 50% of my phone bill from HMRC, and I'm going to change that category to office. Now, what ideally you should do is just kind of scroll through everything you just added and edit your drop downs. So anything with transport for London I can put into travel immediately. There's Uber. That's Uber. Let's put that as travel. Right. I've just realized here there's a savings thing in here, so let's get rid of that because I don't need that in there. This is travel. Landlord is rent and bills, right? So I can claim a percentage of my rent and bills, and let's say I've worked that out as to what percentage is suitable for me, and I'm going to say I'm claiming 13% of my rent and bills in that I use my home space, 13% of my home space for work. Okay, so I can go through this and change these categories. Equally, if you don't want to add any categories, that is fine, but the more you can categorize your expenses, the better. If I want to do it quickly as well, I can just paste this in so I don't have to click the drop down every time. There we go. Missed one. All right, etc., etc. Okay. Now, if we look at this, we can see, oh, I got another EE, so I'm going to change that to 50%, etc. Now, if we look at this, we can see that the dates aren't really in order. And that can happen if you import various amounts at different times from this first sheet. Once you add another little section, they might not be in the right date order. And so that it's easy for you to scan and have a look at everything, you can click the button Sort by Date. So let's see what happens when we click Sort by Date. Okay, look, it's sorted everything. And we can see it's all in order. Great, and it's just easier to look at, easier to scan through and see that you've got everything and that it makes sense in your timeline. Right, let's go to income. Income also has a sort by date button. And the other columns here that you can input numbers into is your pension contributions. So your employee pension contribution is whatever you have put into your pension from your income. So, and your employer pension is whatever your employer has put into your pension, separate to your income. So this has been designed so that all you have to do is put in the numbers that you get on a payslip. So for example, this amount can just be the amount of money that came into your account, and then employee pension is whatever was taken off of your total income to put into your pension, and your employer pension is whatever your producer or employer put in. So we want to add these numbers in here. Let me put in, let's just say it was £23 that I put in and £30 that my employer put in. And on every payslip, you can put that in. And if you didn't have any, you could just leave it blank, or you can put in 00 if you like. And we're putting pension in here because you are taxed on your pension contributions. Okay. One other feature is your mileage tool. Now, the mileage tool helps us figure out how much we can claim if you were driving. So this is manual input. You can put in whatever you like. Let's say I drove 10 miles on 2 trips the other day, just with me. Let's say digs to Theatre Royal. General rule is anything that's colored is stuff that we don't want to edit. So just edit the white sections. Let's say we took another journey the next day. And let's say it was 4 trips and 2 passengers. This actually should just be 0 because there are no extra passengers, just me. Let's say I drove 2 more people. Okay. And same thing. There we go. Now, if we want to calculate that, see what the number says, we can click Calculate Mileage. So let's click on that button there. And there we go. This one is £11. This one is £23. For the more spreadsheet inclined, you can see what the formula is up top. Now, if all of this looks good to you, you can add it to your expenses tab. Actually, if you go, wait, this wasn't right, I only did 3 trips this day, you can adjust it. You can add as many as you like, and then you can click add to expenses if that's all correct, and it'll add all of those lines to your expenses tab. There we go. And if we go and check in expenses, scroll down to the bottom, there they are. And they are in Q1 for this tax year. And so if I sort by date, they will be up here, up top in Q1. Great, so that is how to input all of your information. You can import things into this tool as many times as you'd like. Sorting by date will help you to see if you've accidentally done any duplicates. So we can sort this income by date. There you go. But you can do month at a time. You can do this throughout the year. You don't have to do it all in one go. Now the dashboard tool will show you an overview of all the information you've put in. So it'll show you the different quarters and the income, expenses, and profit. Because obviously you will only be taxed on your profit overall. It'll also break down your expenses by category for your benefit. Now these last few tabs are not to be edited. They say do not edit really big at the top. These are what My Tax Digital will be looking at. All of this is live information, so you have things that are calculating formulas based on what's in your income and expenses tabs. You don't need to look at these at all. All of these numbers that you can see here are in your dashboard. So really, you never need to open Q1 to Q4. And it's best that you don't, just for safety, just so it doesn't get edited in an odd way. All right, and that is your spreadsheet tool. So once you have entered all the information for a particular quarter, once you want to upload this to My Tax Digital for a particular quarter, you want to download this file onto your device. So click download Microsoft Excel or CSV, whichever one you like. Download it onto your device. There we go. I can say this is what I want. And then we will upload that to My Tax Digital. See our tutorial on My Tax Digital for how that works. Thanks very much.